Now I want to talk about building types. There is a system that was proposed by the Applied Technology Council some 20 years ago that engineers use to classify buildings. This is a very simple system where a letter is used to designate the materials that are used in construction, such as W for wood, S for steel, C for concrete. And that letter is followed by a number which indicates the lateral load resisting system, whether it's a moment frame, box building, or diagonally braced building. So S1 would stand for a steel frame, and C2 would stand for a concrete shear wall box building, and so forth. In addition to these types of buildings, there are 4 specialty types. TU stands for buildings where the walls are cast on the ground and tilted up, a so-called tilt-up building, normally have wood roofs or floors. A PC2 type building, which is precast concrete frame type building, normally more than 1 story. A RM building, or reinforced masonry building. And lastly, and usually least because it's the most dangerous type building, a URM, or unreinforced masonry building. In your student manual, you'll find detailed information of all these structures regarding their characteristics, as well as how they behave when subjected to extreme loading conditions. Problematical buildings are, or putting another way, most buildings when subjected to extreme loading have been problems. The only one that you won't see on this slide is the C2, or concrete shear wall type building, which behave probably better than most others for almost any kind of extreme loading you can think about. Wood buildings, of course, have problems in high winds and also in earthquakes if they're big enough, and steel frames without properly welded connections can be a problem, and certainly concrete frame type buildings have been a problem in Mexico City and other places. And further, historically, the biggest problem has been in unreinforced masonry buildings, since there are so many in the world, in the third world as well as in the U.S., especially in the central U.S. and out of the earthquake regions. But the other type of concern is irregular types of buildings. You've heard, I'm sure, of soft first-story buildings or open front buildings. They certainly have been a problem in earthquakes. So what we've covered up to now are what typical forces are, brittle and ductile behavior, a little bit about building systems and redundancy, and building types and characteristics.